Football is back.
Let's go, baby!
On July 26th and 27th, teams across the league take the field for Back Together Weekend, presented by YouTube TV.
Let's do it for the fans!
With 2 full days of practices, player interviews, and behind-the-scenes access, it's a can't-miss NFL reunion.
Woo!
Back Together Weekend, presented by YouTube TV, July 26th and 27th. Go to NFL.com/BackTogetherWeekend for more information.
I hear a lot from people that there are days where it's hard to read a single news story. Forget actually being caught up. But I host a podcast that can fix that. It's called The 7. 7 stories every weekday by 7 a.m. Eastern. And here's the other thing. It's short, less than 10 minutes, in fact. I'm Hannah Jewell. The 7 podcast will turn around your morning and get you caught up. Check it out and follow The 7 wherever you listen to podcasts.
KFI AM 640 is later with Mo Kelly. Let's get this party started. We're live everywhere on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the iHeartRadio app. We have some great stories to cover and some bad news to share. Just have to get this off the top. You know about the passing of Hulk Hogan by now, and also the passing of Chuck Mangione. He was one of the first artists that I was exposed to in that jazz pop space. Of course, people know Feel So Good. We crossed paths once or twice when I was working at the Grammys, but it's been one of those weeks, and we're not even through the week. We've lost a lot of luminaries. We've lost some people very closely connected to either our childhood or even our adulthood, but that is the life that all of us are tasked to live until it's our turn. We have some information on that FCC merger, which that approval that came down between Skydance and Paramount. And I'm just trying to tell you, and I haven't been giving myself enough credit lately. And I think I need to give myself more credit. Despite what Mark Ronner may tell you, I need to give myself more credit.
No, I was going to mention you really could do more of that.
I should. I've been slacking. But I do remember saying that the announcement, the timing of the announcement of the future cancellation of the Late Show with Stephen Colbert was absolutely political, because it was made at a time to signal that Stephen Colbert was not going to be around for the long term, to positively impact the deal and also make sure that President Trump didn't intervene. All that went down this week because the merger was still being negotiated this week. That's why we heard about Stephen Colbert's future this week. They didn't have to announce it. They chose to, because it was going to impact the merger if they did not. That's where the politics came in. As far as the financials, I don't know how much money, quote unquote, the show was actually losing each year, but you didn't have to make that announcement this week. Making the announcement this week was directly connected to the FCC meeting with Skydance and Paramount and making sure that the merger goes through. And that came down today, that the FCC approved that merger. We'll get into that next segment. And did you by chance see South Park last night?
Oh, I sure did.
It was very interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
Is that the word you're going to use?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, was that, among other things?
It was interesting, and also the response to it was very interesting. And I want to save some of that for my final thought about this unserious nation in which we live. And we got some good news for our friends in Anaheim. Discounted Disneyland tickets are coming your way just for you as an Anaheim resident. Then we got some bad news for Chuck E. Cheese lovers. Did you see this story? I don't know if you saw this, Mark, but the news just broke. A Chuck E. Cheese mascot was busted and arrested in front of kids in Florida.
Well, that sounds disturbing.
Disturbing, but kind of on the nose. Kind of par for the course when you're talking about Chuck E. Cheese. We'll talk about that before the hour is over.
Okay, this is really exciting. I'm excited for that.
Well, thank you. Nice of you to join the show, Stefan.
Yeah, well, I'm here. Sorry, it was a little slow. I had a couple hot dogs.
Oh, you only had 2. I had 1, and I did good to only have 1.
Wait, were there hot dogs at work today?
Yeah, but I ate them all.
Would it kill you to look out for your
Would it
work
kill
friend?
you to get here before 6:45?
I do get here before 6:45, but that's okay. You just look out for Mo
Number
Kelly.
1.
Yeah.
No. The hot dog started around 4:00 or so. Tim Conway Jr. He had his own steamer.
Yep.
Was it a special occasion?
Well, he just was excited to get it. I think he was buzzed when he bought it. But
Okay.
but it was a pre-celebration for Crow's birthday.
Oh,
Because I think his birthday falls on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It was cool. I got a hot dog, and it's just like the one that Petros and Money have.
it's exactly the same one. He bought his own. He literally
there you go.
He literally asked Matt Money Smith, which one do you use? And he sent him a link, and he's like, "It's just right there, dude. It's not that hard to find." And he got the exact same one.
Tasted good.
I'm glad you guys got these things that you
You
clearly
missed out, Mark.
enjoyed. It sounds very satisfying.
Look, the hot dogs had to have been gone because it was right outside the studio, so you would have seen it otherwise.
Sure. Thank you, by the way.
Wake up earlier, Dracula.
Uh-huh.
It's not my fault that you can't get your ass here sooner.
No, just look out for yourself.
Thank you. I will. I will continue to do just that.
Well,
The same guy who watches
At least
the
you're
movie
consistent.
at 1 a.m. So
This has nothing to do with any of that.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
yes, it does.
Don't cloud the tube steak issue
Why
with
do you
your
hate
nonsense. And don't use my own lines against me either.
Mark, how many times have I told you about something which was going on in the office and you said, oh, no, that's just way too early for me?
Hardly ever.
Okay.
He's lying, y'all. He's
No,
lying.
that's okay. I'll find something to eat for myself here. I don't need to partake of any
go
of these
go
things.
scavenge in the kitchen. I'm quite sure they have a vending machine item with your name on it.
Yeah, I'm sure they must, and it'll be just joyous for
Cranky.
me to consume here in the news booth. That'll be great. Thanks again.
Cranky Ronner tonight. Cranky.
No.
It's later with Mo Kelly. We'll talk FCC and the merger of Skydance and Paramount when we come back.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. And let me put it like this. Not everything is political, even though we want to make it so in today's world. But not everything is political, and not everything political is somehow unseemly. It's just because something is political doesn't mean that it's somehow dirty. It can be, but not necessarily. But as I was saying last night in regard to trans athletes in the Olympics, and I talk about this more generally, let's get the easy ones right. And for me, this is super easy, and I hope it is super easy for you too. The merger between Skydance and Paramount was rife with political considerations and decisions every step of the way. Here's why. $8 billion are involved in that merger. And if you've ever closed any type of deal, I mean like 1/10 that size, they're always political considerations, even on a small level. But this is on a huge level. Whenever the FCC is involved, that makes it political because they are presidential appointees who sit on that Communications Commission. And the appointed chair, Brendan Carr, is a President Trump appointed individual. That individual approved the Skydance Paramount merger today. And this is after months of other political, or at least politically adjacent events. Remember, all this started with the presidential lawsuit, presidential lawsuit over edits to a 60 Minutes broadcast. when they had a presidential candidate, former Vice President Kamala Harris. She was being interviewed. There were edits. The president objected to that, claimed defamation, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. You have a former president, now sitting president, suing a media outlet over a political interview. It's all political at this point. Now, let's move forward. This was in advance of this merger that Skydance / Paramount wanted. So Paramount paid $16 million basically for this to go away. There was no way in the world that then candidate Trump, now President Trump, was going to win that defamation battle. There was no way he was going to win. But he could have it hold up the merger. This could have languished in court for years. He could have stepped in between and intervened and said to his Trump-appointed chairman of the FCC, Brendan Carr, do not let this merger go through. Because we all know President Trump loves to keep agencies independent, and he never intervenes. All political at this point, okay? So, since the deal was going to be approved or not approved this week, it was incumbent on Paramount to make sure, or at least send the signal, that there would not be any other issues, if you will. So they paid the $16 million like last week or this week. And also they made the public announcement out of nowhere that the Late Show with Stephen Colbert was no more as of next year. Now, they can say it was all about the financials. They can say it was losing money, and I can't confirm or deny what the financials say. But I can confirm that there was no time-sensitive need to announce that outside of the political implications and the meeting which happened the next day with the FCC, which is run by a political appointee and also is directly connected to Donald Trump. Those are all the political considerations in this moment. Yes, there are financial issues which had to be hashed out, but the timing is what makes it political. Now, is it unseemly? To me, on some level, paying the $16 million when you know that you were going to win that lawsuit, to me, is a bit unseemly, because I'm always going to side with media. I'm on the side of media, and media is supposed to be a check to political power. It's not supposed to just acquiesce. It's not supposed to just roll over. And we've seen ABC roll over. We've seen CBS roll over. We've seen now the larger parent company and corporation Paramount roll over. So that's what makes it seem unseemly, because they're making political considerations as opposed to standing on principle. Two different things. But it's okay, because as far as Paramount is concerned, they got what they wanted. And yes, it is a financial decision for Paramount. Paramount, if you want to say, it's almost like Star Wars, depending on how you look at it in a certain type of way. Paramount is looking at it through the lens of the merger of $8 billion is more important than Stephen Colbert. The merger and this of $8 billion is far more important than the $16 million we would be giving the Trump administration for his presidential library. For Paramount, absolutely, positively, definitely is just a financial consideration and transaction. It is good business on their part. 16 million versus 8 billion. There's nothing to talk about. So yes, from a certain point of view, you can say it was purely financial, but all the considerations along the way, all the variables, all the things which could have upended the deal had nothing to do with finances, but only to do with politics. They had to make the affirmative decision to make the announcement regarding Stephen Colbert in a way that will be heard by not only the FCC, but it will be heard by President Trump. That was specifically done to send the message that Paramount is going to continue to play ball. Of course, they couldn't control what South Park did last night, and we'll see how that plays out. But as far as making sure nothing got in the way of consummating the deal, that is why Stephen Colbert was informed, I think, on Monday, and then you had on Tuesday, Stephen Colbert, last week, we saw what we saw and how it all went down. That was just to make sure that the deal wasn't upended. That's it.
Mo, you and I both know that when a talent is let go, be it radio or television, we've seen it time and time again, that talent is exited out of the building. You do not get to come back on the next day and have a show. You just don't.
You don't.
That's just basic entertainment 101, correct?
Because we might say something that will embarrass the company.
Absolutely.
And if you've heard him since this went down, I haven't missed a night since he received the news, and he's just been scorching his bosses every night.
And because of that, and him getting 10 months to do so, I'm not trying to predict the future, but do not be surprised if before the 10 months is up, grand announcement, late nights are back. Stephen Colbert's back. Because you could say, you know what?
The merger's consummated.
The merger's consummated. We've already got this.
Well, maybe it is because you've got Elizabeth Warren raising the entirely plausible possibility that it was a bribe that needs to be investigated.
Exactly. And that's why you give this a good 10 months to clear.
See, this is where I somewhat disagree with Mark. I believe, and this was actually part of my final thoughts. I think that's grandstanding. Is it a bribe? Yeah, it's a bribe, but is it worth a congressional investigation? No, I don't think so, because this happens every single day, and we're only hearing about it because we're emotionally invested in some of the players. But this is how business is done, unfortunately. And yes, Paramount paid $16 million, so there were no obstacles to this deal. That's a financial decision that they made.
Well, I appreciate that you're a fan of the Godfather movies, but in the real world, these things tend to get investigated a great deal.
Maybe not by Congress.
We'll find out. I'm just telling you what I know.
Well,
just the facts.
No. I'm with you on that, but I'm saying I don't think that's Congress's purview. Unless they're actually getting ready to start impeachment proceedings and articles, which I know that they're not. This really doesn't have anything to do with Congress. If anything, you would more closely look at the FCC, and you would look at, Better Business Bureau or something as far as private industry. But Congress has no jurisdiction over private industry as far as what Paramount wants to do. If Paramount wants to spend its money on a whack TV show, or they want to spend $16 million to settle this lawsuit because it's greater later, and they know that there's $8 billion in the offing, I'm not saying that I like it. I am saying that I understand it. And if I were the president of Paramount, I probably would have done the same thing, because I answer to shareholders, not Elizabeth Warren.
Well, sure. Their chair, Sherry Redstone, stands to make personally, just herself, more than $2 billion from that deal going through.
But it sounds like you are arguing.
I'm saying a sitting member of Congress has raised the possibility that this looks an awful lot like a bribe. And if you don't think that investigating a government agency that's accused of that is that Congress's purview, I don't know what to tell you.
You're lucky we have to go to break.
Yeah.
No, you're lucky we have to go to break, because
maybe you're lucky.
No. I got time. Stefan, do we got more time?
It's the Mo Kelly Show.
All right. Then how about this? How about this? Just because, like, for example, something can be fishy and something can be questionable, borderline illegal, but it doesn't mean that it's your jurisdiction. And I question whether it would be Congress's jurisdiction over this particular issue, because it is to Trump. It's not coming.
You
from
don't
the
think Congress has jurisdiction?
No.
Over
hold
the
on.
FCC.
Hold on.
Okay.
Congressional oversight? Yes. Elizabeth Warren? No.
What about Warren? It's a sitting member of Congress, and she doesn't strike me as a crank.
Being a sitting member of Congress doesn't mean that you have jurisdiction. Are you saying that? Are you talking about the Banking and Finance Committee? I'm trying to be very specific here.
I'm saying that when somebody with the standing that she has makes an accusation like that, it's certainly worth checking out. And that's all. I mean, that's all anybody wants is transparency.
Yeah,
because she says that it doesn't look kosher, okay, hold an investigation.
I disagree with that because members of Congress make allegations every single day. They make assertions every single day. I could talk about D&I Tulsi Gabbard, and D&I is a very important position. But just because she made a lot of allegations and accusations about former President Obama doesn't mean that they're serious.
If you think those two are even remotely in the same universe...
I'm taking you to task for what you said because you said that she's a sitting member of Congress, and I'm saying position doesn't matter anymore.
Well, I mean, Gabbard's a political appointee. Warren's a member of Congress who has raised a legitimate concern. Gabbard, to my knowledge, spouted a bunch of debunked talking points that were disproven in a report headed by Marco Rubio. Okay?
I'm not disputing that. I am going off of what you said, where you used her position to validate or verify that there may be some authenticity or there's a level of seriousness to an accusation. We just had the president make all sorts of accusations today.
Well, I think you and I, as rational adults who didn't just fall off the truck yesterday, can tell the difference between a legit concern raised by a member of Congress and just pro wrestling smack talk, which a lot of politicians engage in. This didn't strike me as plain old smack talk.
If it isn't, then Elizabeth Warren knows the steps to take to actually enact a congressional investigation with the correct committee and those involved.
We'll find out if she follows through on it. That's all I want is to find out, get to the bottom. Is what she's...
Oh, we're at the bottom. Trust me. We're already there.
Is what she's alleging true or not? Well, I don't think we have all the facts out in the open.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. I'll deal with you later.
Yeah.
We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app, Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio app, YouTube. We were really over last segment because of Mark Ronner. He deserves all the blame. So this is going to be a very short segment. We might as well just put a pin on our last discussion. And I would say this, Mark, and I'm not going to speak for you, but you were saying that there should at least be an investigation into the payment of Paramount of the $16 million to settle the lawsuit.
Well, I'm not saying that. Elizabeth Warren, a senator, is saying that. I'm just saying that when a sitting senator makes an allegation of bribery, that is serious enough for us to take note of and not just dismiss like it's smack talk. And I'm going to look for a way to apologize to you appropriately for that extended discussion we had.
No. I'm extending it right now, so there's no need to extend it. But people like me with a little knowledge of civics knows that you don't have to make this public pronouncement. You go directly to the office of the Inspector General, and then you can have that investigation start there, and you can have it oversee and review the actions of the FCC, which is the linchpin in this merger, because everything is surrounding that meeting with the FCC to give the go-ahead for the deal.
Well, you got to take that up with Warren, not me. I'm just reporting to you what she said and saying that it's a mistake just to write that off as BS.
Yeah, that's where we disagree, and it's not because of who she is. It's about where we are. We have a president that says a lot of things. The president, and also this intersection of private sector and the public sector, when you have the president saying, yeah, the Washington Commanders need to go back to the Redskins, or the Cleveland Guardians need to go back to the Indians. In my head, it's the same thing when we have other people of reputable offices telling private industry what it is supposed to do. If she being Elizabeth Warren, if Senator Warren wants an investigation, she can go to the OIG and start there. The public pronouncement is neither here nor there for me, because I know to get the actual investigation going, she doesn't need to tell me. She doesn't need to tell you. She doesn't need to tell ABC News. She needs to go to the Senate Majority Leader and then start the process there.
That may or may not be true, but I don't think there's any rational comparison whatsoever with Warren raising the possibility of bribery and Trump's culture war issue with the Washington Commanders. I don't think they have anything to do with each other, and they're not comparable in any way.
But I'm not comparing them as far as validity. I'm comparing them because you made the statement that because a sitting senator said X, Y, and Z, we should take it seriously. And I'm saying by that yardstick, you open up a can of worms where...
Don't touch my yardstick.
Okay.
your yardstick aside, good sir. Okay, I'm not reaching for your yardstick.
Okay, yeah, keep your hands off it. Thank you very much.
Reel that thing back in. Right now we are in an age where almost every politician who wears a red hat for some reason or other finds themselves saying, I think we need to investigate that. It's almost like the new catchphrase when they want to allay suspicion or some type of credible claim to something that they're just making up, and none of these things ever go anywhere. Now, just because someone on the left is doing it, and hey, Warren, yes, rah, she doesn't seem like just a idle rebel rouser, but still, to say we need to investigate something, that's not necessarily like, aha, that's not a smoking gun.
Yeah, that doesn't, look, there were 5 different investigations which were announced this week. I'm not exaggerating. 5.
Yes.
So
I really admire this nothing to see here argument that the two of you are trying to perpetrate.
No, that's a mischaracterization.
It's not to say that there's nothing to say. I'm saying that right there, just that solely is saying, I think that there's some criminality here, and I think it needs to be investigated, is not a smoking gun. Therein, you do not have.
I never claimed there was.
Okay, I'm saying.
But I'm saying it doesn't mean that it should be taken seriously either. I mean, just the pronouncement and who it comes from, to me, doesn't mean that it rises to a level of then necessitating further investigation.
Well, we'll find out what they do with it. I just want to see that. I mean, in my DNA, am a journalist and I want answers. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, look, answers, all for it. I would rather she have said, when that announcement was made and we looked into it, we found out that there were some illegal transactions that were made. I'd rather that versus just some arbitrary statement of, I don't know about that. I think we need to look at that.
Is that how you're characterizing that?
I'm characterizing that.
Okay.
That's what she said. I'm not saying you.
All right.
Because you didn't say it, Mark. You're not the one who's saying we need to look at that.
Right. Correct.
All I'm saying is, if I had a nickel for every time an elected official said, we need to investigate this, or someone needs to answer for that, I would be a billionaire.
So we can't take anything seriously that any elected official ever says?
You're too smart to play dumb like that, Mark. You know exactly what I mean. I'm saying
I'm carrying your argument to its logical conclusion.
You're not.
Which is that nothing makes sense.
No, see,
nothing
you're
matters.
making an absolutist argument. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that just because
it's all pro wrestling.
Mark, you need to stop letting the blood rush to your yardstick. Okay?
And argue with the other head.
Kayfabe. It's all kayfabe. This Hulk Hogan news has infected everybody today.
I will never say, because the president said that we need to look into this person or that person, a priori means that we should take it seriously because it's the sitting president of the United States. No, never. Not before Donald Trump. Definitely not during Donald Trump. And I try to look upon each elected official through those jaundiced eyes where there is a political position that they're taking less so than a legal one.
I understand that, but Trump himself is kind of sui generis. You can't really compare a lot of people to him. And I'm not attaching good or bad to that because I just want to avoid any angry letters.
Okay, but it's too late for that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But let's take the names out of it. Yeah. Take the names out of it. Let's say there's no Trump, there's no Warren. I'm saying just because an elected official makes a pronouncement about either not believing this or calling for an investigation for that, that to me doesn't rise to the level of, well, we should take it seriously.
Well, yeah, not if you don't have any faculties for observation or critical thinking.
Oh,
of course not.
Come on, Mark.
We got to do the news.
No, you got to do the news.
Yeah, I got to do the news.
I got to sit here and just be black and mind my business.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
There's an old saying, I don't have to do anything except stay black and die.
Well,
actually, I don't have to do ish.
Well, I can't say that version. Yeah.
Well, when Stefan throws to me, I'll do the half black news.
I hear a lot from people that there are days where it's hard to read a single news story. Forget actually being caught up. But I host a podcast that can fix that. It's called The 7. 7 stories every weekday by 7 a.m. Eastern. And here's the other thing. It's short, less than 10 minutes, in fact. I'm Hannah Jewell. The 7 podcast will turn around your morning and get you caught up. Check it out and follow The 7 wherever you listen to podcasts.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on social media and the iHeartRadio app. Got to run through these last 2 stories for the hour very quickly. If you're living in Anaheim, Disneyland is offering discounted park tickets for Anaheim residents. Why they not done this all the time, I honestly don't know. But if you live in Anaheim, you'll soon get a chance to visit Disneyland. They're offering $70 park tickets to Anaheim residents.
Say what?
$70.
70.
70. Now, the food and the parking may still add up to $700, but it'll be just $70 to get you in the park.
Damn.
And it starts August 4th, and it runs through September 25th. And this is a part of, obviously, the year-long 70th anniversary, $70 tickets for Anaheim residents. And they have more than 70 new themed food and beverage items, which will be available. That's where the extra money comes in. So you'll spend $70 to get in and another $70 per food item.
But $70?
Oh, that's
down from 100, what, 190?
Yeah, that's it's more than half off. So, yeah.
Ooh.
Here's some other good news. You know how much we love Chuck E. Cheese. We talk about it all the time. We sing its praises.
Yes.
Well, let's go to Florida. A Chuck E. Cheese's mascot has been arrested, I think earlier today, in Florida after a customer ratted him out as a thief.
What? In the shop?
Yes, while he was Chucky. A worker dressed in a Chuck E. Cheese costume in Tallahassee was taken into custody yesterday, late last night, on larceny charges and hauled out of the restaurant in handcuffs in front of children in the middle of a party.
Wait. Did they take the Chuck E. Cheese mask off this guy?
I don't know, but he was in the costume.
Oh.
I assume they took off his mask, but all the kids are probably mortified and terrified. Traumatized because they saw Chucky without his mask and put in handcuffs. The suspect, 41-year-old Jamel Jones of Tallahassee, was dressed head to toe in a Chuck E. Cheese costume when police confronted him around 7:30 local time. And, quote, I grabbed his right arm while giving the verbal instruction, Chuck E. Cheese, come with me. Oh, my God.
There's no way.
He didn't.
This can't be real.
They arrested dude for real and called him Chuck E. Cheese in the moment.
That's traumatizing.
They committed a real arrest, and they kept him in character.
So was it like Mr. Cheese? Will you put your hands behind your back, please?
No, they said, quote, Chucky, come with me.
Damn it.
Damn
it.
And police alleged that Jamel Jones initially resisted arrest. So they probably took him down and put him on his chest, put his arms behind his back on the floor. Kids were probably screaming.
In character. In his costume.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they got to the jail, did they lift his tail up for a cavity search? Thank you.
Jones was arrested on felony charges of larceny of a debit card, possession of another person's identification without consent, and for allegedly using the stolen debit card 6 times.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Evidently, Jones used a debit card purchasing items at a smoke shop, a meat market, and a Whataburger.
Yeah. I know what he was doing. He was walking around in his Chucky outfit. Hey, kids, it's a pizza time. Check out the band.
And stealing wallets.
And stealing wallets, going into purses because parents, they leave their bags
they do.
At the table, and they say things like this to their teenage kid who doesn't want to be bothered. Watch the table. I'm taking your brother over to the ball pit. Watch the table. And then you got some kid who's there is like, I'm not watching the table. They get up and they go pick up balls and they throw them at other kids. Next you know, he's walking around grabbing stuff out of folks' purses.
Or they're on their phones, just ignoring everything. Yeah.
Oh, I could see this going down.
Yeah.
Not that I thought about it.
They could have at least taken him into the back. It's like, Mr. Cheese, we need to speak to you over here for a moment. No, they did it all out in the open in front of the kids.
That's because they don't want any of the other costume characters in the back to get any bright ideas. You have to make an example of Mr. Cheese.
Is there a full band anymore?
No, they don't have that.
I mean,
anymore.
but I've seen a duck walking around. There's a duck.
There's a duck?
There's the Chucky's the rat.
Uh-huh.
Are you confusing Five Nights at Freddy's?
No. There's a duck and there's one other character.
Sir,
that walks
can you
around.
describe the duck, please?
This is medium height, medium build.
The pizza guy.
Yes, it's something, but there's like three
is he
different
Ducky
characters that walk around. No, it's not. No, the duck isn't a cheese. The duck is like, I don't know, Bill. I have no idea.
Is the duck wearing trousers, sir?
No.
Wrinkle the duck?
No.
Feathered butt.
Is it Wrinkle the duck?
It might be Wrinkle the duck. Is that his name? No, Chucky.
I never knew
Dr.
their name.
Quack.
Chucky. I knew Chucky and the pizzeria guy.
Yeah, the pizzeria guy. I remember him.
But I don't remember anyone else for the most part.
From the band. Chuck E. Cheese band members.
Chucky's Duckies? I don't know. I think it's Dr. Quack.
No. Okay, no. It's I'm sorry. It's not a duck. It is actually a chicken. And it's Helena Henney.
I like Dr.
Oh, I'm sorry, Helen. Helen Henney. So there's Mr. Munch, who plays the keyboards. Jasper T. Jowls. I love that name. Jasper T. Jowls here. He plays guitar. Helen Henney on the guitar and sings vocals. And Pasquale, who plays the drums.
That's the pizza guy.
Yeah, that's the pizza guy. Pasquale.
Can we go back to talking about Elizabeth Warren?
No, this is good.
This is better.
Mr. Munch. Mr. Munch on the ones and twos. Jasper T. Jowls.
So is Chucky going to do some hard time?
Larceny. Good chance, yes.
Yeah.
We got to go. KFI AM640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Football is back.
Let's go, baby!
On July 26th and 27th, teams across the league take the field for Back Together Weekend, presented by YouTube TV.
Let's do this for fans!
With 2 full days of practices, player interviews, and behind-the-scenes access, it's a can't-miss NFL reunion.
Whoa!
Back Together Weekend, presented by YouTube TV, July 26th and 27th. Go to NFL.com/BackTogetherWeekend for more information.
When I listen to the news, here's what I want to know. Why this story matters, who's at the center of it, and how the reporters uncovered it. And as a journalist, I want to make sure that's what you get too. I'm Elahe Izadi, co-host of the podcast Post Reports. Every weekday, my colleagues and I at the Washington Post give you the context you need on the biggest stories. Healthcare, tariffs, artificial intelligence. We've got you covered. Look for Post Reports wherever you listen to podcasts.